The most fabulous story ever told begins with the beginning of the universe, which happens at the prompting of someone on stage who calls creation just as a stage manager would call a play. In fact, she's called the stage manager in Stray Dog Theater's program. Patrice Foster plays her with the requisite self-assurance. We can see what happens each day of creation thanks to projections by Justin Bean, who directed the production, designed the sound, and co-designed the set with Josh Smith. It's an impressive opening, but the real fun doesn't begin until the creation of men. Yes, I said men, not man. In Paul Rudnick's rewriting of the biblical story of creation, the first two people are Adam and Steve. In his introduction to the printed script, Rudnick says the spark for the play came from the fundamentalist quip, God made Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. The play takes this idea seriously, then comically, then seriously again. The play is a comedy, but it is also a thoughtful inquiry into matters of faith. The details are always worth thinking about after you laugh at them. For example, Adam and Steve are not created naked. They wear jockstraps until after the fall. That's when the play has a little bit of nudity. You may be wondering how this version of creation deals with procreation. Rudnick has an answer to that. Adam and Steve are not the only ones created. The others include, but are not limited to, Jane and Mabel, the first lesbian couple. Both couples are stereotypically gay, but Rudnick uses stereotypes in the most genial way. He has created his men and women in the image of members of his community who are dear to him. At Stray Dog, Luke Steingruby is Adam, William Humphrey is Steve, Maria Bartolotta is Jane, and Angela Bubash is Mabel. They understand that Rudnick is having fun with his characters' foibles, not making fun of them. All four performances are treasurable. In addition to the creation and the fall, Rudnick takes his characters through the flood and slavery in Egypt. The first act ends with the birth of Jesus. These characters have very long lives, so long that Act 2 finds them in Manhattan at the time the play was written, about 20 years ago. Adam is teaching at a private school, Steve is a contractor, Jane and Mabel are awaiting the birth of their child. They are at a Christmas Eve party with others played by Janelle Gilraith, Jeremy Goldmeyer, Stephen Henley, and Dawn Schmidt. They are all excellent throughout in a variety of supporting roles. Jane and Mabel are planning to be married by a lesbian rabbi in a wheelchair who has a program on public access cable. The ceremony is interrupted by the birth of the baby in a compelling performance by Bartolotta. Another highlight is Gilraith's telling of the rabbi's astonishing story. The two couples do not seem to remember their history in Act 1, but we do. These memories give the action more resonance, especially when Adam's faith is tested by the prospect of living without Steve, who has AIDS. This is the first time mortality has been a problem for them. Steingruby and Humphrey make this scene deeply moving. Jules Kings designed the costumes, and Tyler Dino designed the lighting for the show. It isn't typical holiday fare, but it is genuinely rewarding.
Yes, it is. It's a very amusing piece. I generally like what Paul Rudnick does with his plays.
Well, I'm not a fan of everything, but this one I really liked.